If you want to read this article, just go to justinstellman.com/A29. When was the last time you had a paradigm shift? A while ago, somebody I knew had asked that question on Facebook. Ever since he posted the question, it really got me thinking about what is a paradigm shift? Should we have them? And does it help to have them? For those that might not know, a paradigm is just a framework. It's just a worldview. Some people like to think of it as a container of ideas. A paradigm is an outlook on life or a belief system that we all hold about certain things. These belief systems oftentimes are given to us by other people, unless we do the work and come up with our own belief systems. Those that create their own paradigms are often criticized because their belief system flies in the face of the current social norms. A few people that had paradigm-changing worldviews that challenged social norms were people like Gandhi, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, just to name a few. Basically, any revolutionary is a person that holds a world-changing paradigm and offers that to other people. So is it good to have a paradigm shift? It depends on what you want out of life. For example, what if your paradigm is to avoid trusting men or you don't like a certain race? When you meet a man that you can trust, it causes you to rethink your paradigm, right? When you meet a person from another race, which is why I highly encourage traveling, who is the opposite of what you thought, it causes you to rethink your paradigm. These are examples of a good paradigm shift. But what if you have a paradigm shift about how the world works? What if you suddenly realize that the corporation you're working for is harming people or destroying the earth? Now, this happens all the time. So what do you do then? Or what if you are a pastor or a priest and start questioning your religion? What if you work in the medical field and realize drugs and chemicals are harming more people than they're helping? What do you do then? Many people avoid having a paradigm shift at all costs, and I get it. I completely understand. Who wants their entire worldview to crumble, right? It's almost like having a midlife crisis. It feels like your entire life is falling apart right in front of you. If you worked all your life as a pastor and suddenly realize you have the wrong religion, what do? Marriages literally break up over this, and I've seen this in my own life. People get hurt and families get torn apart. Changing your worldview with a paradigm shift is not easy to face. It's much easier to stay in a safe place with your jobs, with your ideas, and your comfortable life than it is to question everything you believe in. We humans do everything we can to seek out comfort and to buffer any potential circumstance that would cause us to grow or to change. We build homes to insulate us from the outside environment. We put money away for, quote, retirement so we can live a safe, happy life in our golden years. We store up food for the winter. We go to the gym and take care of our health so we don't get sick when we're older. Humans, we don't like to face adversity. But questioning your beliefs forces you to get to the edge of comfort and face adversity head on. So why do this? Why challenge yourself and question your current paradigm when the cost is so high? Why force yourself off the edge of uncertainty? Why force yourself off the edge of certainty into the unknown abyss of uncertainty? That's a good question. Why? I'm not going to tell you that you need to do that just because I do. But with that said, I think it's an important skill for people to seek out. If you're reading this right now, I'm guessing you have a pretty open mind and are a person who's interested in challenging themselves with new ideas. One of the main problems with paradigms and worldviews is that we hold on so tightly to them, almost to the extent that our identity, our ego, our personality, and our emotions become intertwined with that worldview. Once that paradigm is indistinguishable from the essence of who you are or who you think you are, then it becomes nearly impossible to decouple the two. This is why I make it a practice to meditate, to do Qigong and yoga as much as I can. I'm constantly reminding myself that the core essence of who I am has nothing whatsoever to do with my thoughts, my emotions, my desires, my opinions, or anything. Who I am is none of those things. So you might say, well, who would I be without any of those things? Well, that's an interesting question when you really think about it. That, quote, who, the silent observer of all those things, is really the eternal you. When you really understand who you are, you quickly realize these ideas we hold on to and opinions we assert are just a small slice of the pie of everything that makes you, you. When we realize that cold death grip from all these things that make us human, it really becomes easy to let these ideas come and go so that they can pass right through us. The idea might serve us for a while until we find another idea that serves us better at that stage in life. So ideas are like tools inside of a toolbox. The tools we use to build a house are different than the tools we need to build a forklift. We use the tools to get the job done. We would never confuse the tools with the completed house or the forklift, or even worse, we'd never confuse the tools with the person building the house. We, the eternal essence of who we are, or our soul, use tools, ideas, paradigms, worldviews to accomplish a specific task. The problem is that most people don't even know what the task is, and then they confuse their ideas with who they are. When we hold ideas loosely, it's easy to pick them up or let them go as we see fit. Are your opinions and judgments serving you? Are they helping you complete a task? Do you know what your task is? Do you know why you're here? When you see people that hold on to their belief systems so tightly that they can't let go, you see people that haven't changed in decades. We've all met these kind of people. You move away and you don't see them for 20 years, and the only thing that has changed is they've aged. There's nothing new in their life. They aren't doing anything new. They're still complaining about the same old things they used to complain about. They're not excited about anything, and you can see it. They've constructed a safe little bubble for themselves to live in that's devoid of anything of substance. They're incapable of going deep. There's a good quote that says, "Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people," by Eleanor Roosevelt. There's no life experience they can draw from that might help you in your situation because they've insulated themselves from life itself. There's no new philosophy or spiritual truths they can share with you because they're so insulated themselves in their own life that they've even lost connection with who they are. It's really a sad thing because at this point the person is merely existing while living, quote, quiet lives of desperation. When was the last time you met a person at 45 years old that went from being a Democrat to a Republican, or vice versa? When was the last time you met someone who went from being an atheist to a Christian, or vice versa? Or from eating meat to being a vegan? You don't see many of these people at 45 years old doing that because the stakes are too high. Usually this is the realm of kids and young adults because they have less to lose, even though they have more to fear from what their friends think. Young people, either by age or mentality, are more easily able to adapt to new ideas. That's why you see so many young kids into ideas that are not mainstream. Older people have more to lose. They don't want their marriage to fall apart or lose their career simply because they no longer hold on to certain belief systems. There are also people who couldn't be bothered learning something new or holding a paradigm altogether. Their laziness and their comfortable life affords them the ability to ignore potential paradigm-shifting ideas. But for me, I invite paradigm shifts. I enjoy when I have one. I'm seeking them out. If you were to meet me 1 year from now, I would be sad if I had the same ideas as the year before. I would be sad if I wasn't looking to the future rather than reliving the past as so many people do when they get older. I'd be sad if I wasn't looking to the future for new adventure, whether physical, spiritual, or mental. You don't have to get stuck, or you don't want to get stuck in a rut. When you're in a groove, you're constantly thinking, when you're in a groove, your constant thinking reinforces the patterns that make that groove deeper. The deeper that groove gets, the higher the walls, the less options you have. Before you dig that groove, you had 3 dimensions available for your movement, right? You could go up, you can go left, you can go right, you can go back or forth. Now in your rut, you can only go backwards and forwards. The groove is like a cast, locking you in place and preventing strength and growth from happening. Whenever you put a cast on an arm, it gets weak, it gets atrophied. That's because you're not allowing it to have resistance and a full range of motion. The same thing happens with us. If we don't force ourselves through resistance and exploring new ideas, we get weak. We get atrophied. Just because somebody is older than us doesn't mean they're wiser. They could have been stuck in their own self-imposed rut for longer than we've been alive. When I'm older, I want to live a life that has experience to share. I want to have philosophies to help inspire people. I want to have plans for new adventures in the works. I want to have unique insights to people and situations that came out of the growth of questioning my own beliefs. Don't you want that also? Or do you want to be in the old folks' home complaining that your food isn't good, talking about the good old days of your youth. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound too appealing. So what do we do? How do we have a paradigm shift? The first step is to hold your current beliefs lightly and understand they're just beliefs. You can change them at any time and then change them back if you want. You don't have to hold on to your beliefs forever. Simply use them for a while and then let them go. When you realize that you are not your beliefs, you can start looking into new belief systems and new frameworks of looking at the world and see if they help you. If they do, then continue exploring and putting them into practice. If they don't, just let them go as well as the people associated with them. I love playing with new ideas, no matter how controversial they are. To me, it's fun. People will think you're crazy, but what they believe about me is between really them and God. It has nothing to do with me. And this liberates me to freely explore new ideas and philosophies without feeling afraid of what other people might think of me. The last major paradigm shift that I had was probably back in March of 2015. Currently, it's May of 2017. It was in March that I stumbled across something called the Flat Earth. If you go over to the documentaries section of this website, you'll see a handful of videos explaining more content about it. I don't care if people think I'm crazy or what they think of me at all. Since when is exploring ideas with an open mind something that's crazy? I never want to have a mind that's closed off to new ideas and paradigm shifting potential. The day we have the world figured out is a day where personal growth and exploration ceases. I don't know about you, but I want nothing that world has to offer. There's a great quote by Tom Brown, the author of The Vision, which I linked to in the article, that says, "Animals, like humans, make in life the mistakes that will ultimately lead to their death, either physically or on an emotional and spiritual level, as with this deer. People and animals that stay on the same paths in life will eventually wear themselves into ruts, a complacency to life born of the false security, comfort, and monotony of that path. Soon, the ruts become so deep that they can no longer see over the sides. They see neither danger nor beauty, only the path before them, nor do they abandon that path so often traveled for fear of losing their security and entering into the land of the unknown." When was the last time you had a paradigm shift? If you want to read this article, just go to justinselman.com/A27. You can also make a comment and